Thank you so much for your time today. And then please start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you from my side as well. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Heidi Solba, and I'm working daily basis with Let's Do It World Network and also serving the organization as president of this huge movement. And today we are talking about Let's Do It World and World Cleanup Day. So many great ideas start from an utopical idea. So we had this kind of really big dream in Estonia to clean up our country from the waste, which was in the rivers and in the parks and in the forests. And in 2008, we had really great idea from Rainer Norvak and Thomas Trapido that it would be great to clean up our Estonia with all our communities, with our population, with our nation. And also there was an idea to do it just in one single day. So the preparations for that great event, which happened in 2008 in May, the preparations took a time like 6 months, and the best experts of Estonia worked on that. Eventually, on that day, it was cleaned up with all the Estonian nation. And from that day, took about like 5% of our Estonians. And we had also really great ambassadors who were supporting this movement, like our Estonian national president. What is really important if we talk about this utopical idea was that nobody believes that firstly it's possible. And secondly, it actually proved that so many people who are, bringing together and working for the great cause can do something really huge in the country. So there was also the measurements. If the government might be doing the same kind of huge cleanup, then it might be taking from the government the preparation like 3 years. Instead of that, this NGO made in 6 months. And if you calculate into the volunteer hours and everything what we have done and contributed with the resources, it could be take for government 22.5 million euros instead of doing it as the biggest with a zero waste, not zero waste, but €0 huge marketing event in the country. So you see the power of their movements, the power of the nation itself. It started this kind of great idea roll around the world, and we had quite a many different organizations in the world who were following us, and one of them was Slovenia. So Let's Do It Slovenia engaged 14% of the national population. And I have to say that I'm absolutely sure that it catalyzed the process of really great innovation, social innovation inside the country, and forced and inspired their country itself with different kind of institutions to work towards a zero waste and circular economy. So if you can say about Slovenia, since Slovenia is one of the countries in the world who is segregating already 70% from all the waste that they are collecting. And I think it's really great results. This kind of results we want to see in the world, right? So I think Slovenia is doing remarkable work, and it happened only through the social innovation. So what happened with the Let's Do It World afterwards was that, yes, we had 2008 our first cleanup in national level in Estonia, but also in Latvia and Lithuania. We had quite many followers, and they all followers as the countries had a model, let's clean up our country in one day. So in 2012, there was a World Cleanup, not World Cleanup Day, but World Cleanup, with 96 countries who actually made their cleanups in the format what they loved, in the times what they wanted to do. But we saw that actually this is not enough, because the world is growing and population is growing. There are more people in the world, and also there are more consumption in the world. So we have to do something drastic. By this time we had an idea, why not to have, instead of one country, one day, one globe, one earth, and one day. So we had the dream to have one World Cleanup Day, which is engaging all the countries around the world by bringing out like 5% of their populations. Really boldly thought, right? But if you want to go to the moon, you have to make a journey to the sun. So you have to think really boldly if you want to change the world. And we started to think boldly, okay, we need 150 countries in order to change it. We have to establish the teams around the world. We have to have really great leaders who are taking leadership to bring the people together and make this change happen. So we started the preparation in 2015. And we had our first World Cleanup Day in 2018. By this time, we engaged 157 countries, which was more, and we engaged 17.6 million people around the world. Well, we did it the first time. The first time, it was really great result. It was like a green wave around the world. Each country started to work, shared their goals, shared their results, photos, videos, their passions, their emotions. And in this way, we established this kind of really great global network. We have network of doers around the world today in 164 countries and territories. But at this time, we established this network, with this network also a really huge organization called Let's Do It World, which will be led by the network itself. In this way, we empower the leaders and teams around the world to make the World Cleanup Day happen, but not just that, but also different kind of other green projects, because the cleanup itself is not making the world, better, but we have to do a multiple different kind of actions. And with its green teams in 164 countries and territories, we can do it. We can work beyond the World Cleanup Day, and we have to work beyond the World Cleanup Day. So we had the second World Cleanup Day in 2019. It was really big, 21.2 million people from 180 countries. I have to say that this is the numbers what our teams responded back to us through their reports. But in reality, the number is much bigger because there are a lot of people in the world who are not reporting back. Yet they're coming out with their organizations, institutions, or by individual way. Well, in 2020, we had a COVID. So it was our third World Cleanup Day. And we didn't expect a lot. Actually, we didn't know that we are doing the World Cleanup Day because in this kind of times of pandemic and with really huge recessions, we thought that it's absolutely not doable. But we had a spoke from the earth itself and from so many countries. We have to do it. We have to do it. Okay. And we started to prepare for the World Cleanup Day, which was the third. We engaged 11 million people from 166 countries. And this is our fourth edition. Today, all the world is taking part, despite the COVID, but following the restrictions from each country. We have to be really careful with our health. So here are some pictures from our lovely teams around the world, if you show some of them. So yes, today we can say that we are the biggest active network around the world. Active, that means that we have 164 countries and territories where we have teams who are working on the common strategy. And one of the common strategy flagship is a World Cleanup Day campaign. But beyond of that, we have a lot of multiple another project as well. We do have, for example, Digital Cleanup Day in the March. We are running Global Cigarette Butt campaign, and we are doing different kind of programs and projects in national level or regional level. One of them is a digital educational platform for Africa countries. We started and currently are running a pilot program in Namibia, and we want to enroll it across all the African region. We are also working with United Nations, with the United Nations Environmental Program. We are accredited members. We are also working in United Nations Habitat as on an advisory board. And we do have multiple different kind of roles as we are presenting really huge network here. And I think the most important is that this network is leading the organization itself. It's owned by the network. It's owned by the people, humans around the world. In this way, we can do it together, because if we do it together, then it does have really huge power of cooperation, being bonded, the sense of we're living in the global world where we do have the same aim, challenge, and the results. In global problems, we have to work globally. And I think this network is actually showcasing and is a really great example how to work in global level without any boundaries. So our mission is that we are mobilizing millions of people around the world. By mobilization, we think that we can actually catalyze the process toward positive change. If you talk about awareness about the waste situation and change in behaviors. Furthermore, I think that most important is that we're bringing together different kind of people, different kind of institutions and organizations. According to the feedback from our leaders, majority of our leaders, like 74 countries from the feedback from the survey, where 70% of our leaders actually send it this kind of results, are saying that they are working with the governments, and these governments are coming also be part of the work cleanup day. In this way, we are catalyzing the process of mutual cooperations. Cooperation is a key word if you want to change the world. And work cleanup day is a fantastic tool to bring the people together. Suddenly you understand that you are bonded, not just with yourself or with the land or with the waste or understanding or with the universe, but also with other people. And that is really important. You understand that it's not important what is your background, what is your education or religion. We are in the same world and we have to work together. So our vision is clean and healthy and waste-free world. For that, we need, of course, a lot of humans who are thinking in the same way. And our core values is that we can change the world with the humans and through the humans. And we have to do it through the positive collaborations by working together. Our theory of change, basically, I will not talk about it really short, but it means that we are working with multiple sustainable development goals. I mentioned already a United Nations. It is really important that we are engaging and working all together toward sustainable development goals. And the way how we are achieving it is through the collaborations. We have to engage in work and raise awareness and educate the communities. We have to engage and work and educate also different kind of business sector organizations, but also we have to work in positive collaborations with public sector organizations to work on advocacy and to help to implement different kind of environmental strategies. So coming back to our numbers, how we have been engaged, you see the numbers from 2018, 2019, and 2020. Yes, it was really big raise if you talk about the difference between 2018 and 2019, but then we had a COVID and dropped a lot. But still, as I mentioned, it's just a report from 164 countries and territories. But still, there is more people in the world who are not reporting back. And this is not the most important. We want to make the change happen. And this is not important where you are and what you are doing. The most important is that you are doing something. So we are hoping that we are catalyzing the process of that something. And then have been always questioned, is it 5% actually realistic? So here you see some of our countries who have engaged more than 5% of their country population. And the big shift in societies have been happened. So we actually can prove from our numbers, but also from global surveys, that this 5% is magical. Even 3% is really magical because we are really highly related through the social media nowadays. So this is the countries who have engaged a lot of their people and have really great changes in this society. Biggest engager last year when we had a COVID, you can see by involvement, you see the numbers of the population. Latvia, 2.65% of their national population are coming out to the World Cleanup Day. Some of the countries are not just cleaning up, but they also, after cleanup, they are planting the trees. Or they're doing some kind of waste segregation webinars. Or they're doing webinars around the world because during their COVID time, we have to do different kind of things. Or they're doing digital cleanup as well. This is also what we are doing. But if you talk about the participants numbers, Indonesia, 4.1 million people. Yes, we have report for those numbers. Indonesia is a phenomenal country with 17,000 islands, with so many different kind of backgrounds of people and for many, many projects what they are leading. Indonesia, they're working also with scouts and with many, many organizations. They're really well organized. In Ethiopia, actually, the engager here is United Nations Habitat Ethiopia. We had really nice live session with them as well. So they're repeating the same model and bring all these 4 huge cities from Ethiopia to be engaged today on the World Cleanup Day. United States always have been our really great leader. We are working here in United States, also in global level with Earth Day and Keep America Beautiful. And there are many great partners. Mexico last year was really big inspiration to us because they engaged a lot of huge headquarters in Mexico City to be part of the World Cleanup Day. In India was really interesting because they had multiple different kind of activities, the digital cleanup, cigarette butt campaign, plastic bottle campaign, individual cleanups, group cleanups, different kind of formats. India is big, you can choose what is working for you. In Philippines, we engage also the public sector and have quite a many people who took a part. In China, the same thing. In Italy, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan, they all are doing really, really great. All our countries, whenever they are, have been doing phenomenal work. And yes, I was talking about the NISEL study. So you see that if you talk about 5%, in Indonesia, we engage 3% in 2018. And it was 7.6 million people. We studied and made a survey before the World Cleanup Day and after the World Cleanup Day. So before the World Cleanup Day, the awareness about the waste situation was not so good, but it was there, present, of course. But after the World Cleanup Day, when Indonesia have been engaged, nearly 3% of the population, which was 7.6 million, we made the survey again. And we can say that actually this proved that the people are more aware. So this is how you are making the social shift and social innovation. You have to engage in order to change the understandings and behavior. We had also in South Africa and France, but did not so much participation, and the results were not so visible anymore. Here I can show you a little video.
2020, a truly challenging year for humanity and the environment. But unprecedented COVID-19 restrictions, economical turmoil, tragedies, and insecurities just can't break us. People still care. Despite all the difficulties, over 11 million heroes from 165 countries joined forces to fight for a better future on World Cleanup Day. For ourselves and for our children's sake, we cleaned neighborhoods, beaches, and the land, cleaning on our own, with our families, friends, and colleagues. We came out to say, we want change. We collected millions of cigarette butts, mountains of plastic litter, and reduced CO2 through digital cleanups. We taught new skills in composting and recycling in our communities. People all over the world committed themselves to nature and the future of our planet. Change for better happens through people and their positive collaboration. We are committed to reaching sustainable development goals. We can achieve a resilient, waste-free, and healthy world by acting together. People for the planet. See you on World Cleanup Day in 2021.
So this was for the last year results, which is calling up for today, World Cleanup Day. You know, in Let's Do It World, this is just really big organization. We also try to understand how the teams and leaders around the world in 164 countries and territories are feeling. And we are measuring not just the feelings, but also the strategy, the plans, collecting the feedbacks as a really great organization, because we want to understand where we have to move in order to make the change and impact happen. And we can do it only through the people and through the humans. That's why the humans' feedback, the people's and leaders' feedback is so crucial to us. So we are doing survey each year after the World Cleanup Day in November, where we are collecting back this kind of feedbacks. How went the World Cleanup Day? How worked this call and media center and broadcast show? What kind of needs our leaders actually need? what we have done, all the strategies and plans have been worked out, what kind of feedback they do have toward the work, toward headquarters, and also to the regional teams. This is really important feedback to us. And we have Happy Leaders Index, which actually is from 3 questions. So first question is that we want to understand what the leader is thinking, how impactful and meaningful is their work in their country. The second question inside the Happy Leader Index is how strongly do you feel that they are belonging to Let's Do It World network? It's a family sense. It's really empowering. And third, how much deserved recognition do you receive from your work? It's all related to values. It's all related to understanding who I am as a leader, what kind of change I'm creating in the world. If we have this kind of people more in the world, then we can change. We can make them more change in the world and bigger impacts. So we're combining these 3 questions together, and we have Happy Leaders Index. So you can see in 2020, it was 8.2 out of 10. And you can see also results per different kind of regions. So how many countries actually responded to this question? 70% from all our country leaders and team responded to all this questionnaire. So I think that 8.2 out of 10 in the times of COVID is a really great result. And yes, and we asked also the motivation to organize the next World Cleanup Day. It was really high, like 90%. And in the times of COVID, it's really great. And also, what kind of impact it's creating in this society? So of course, it's increased awareness, changing attitude. That's why we need to have our cleanup day, cleaner country, engaged peoples and partners, better waste management, and so on. From that, we are going to more different kind of plans and projects after the World Cleanup Day. And the question, how much of government have been participating in World Cleanup Day? So you can see in 2019 and 2020, there is little change if you talk about the presidents who have been engaged, or mayors who have been engaged, or prime minister who have been engaged on these cleanups. And then other activities I already talked about, the Namibia project and Africa project. We have also in Latin America a project which is digital communities, and we are also going forward with Europe and Asia. But you see, environmental education programs for schools and kindergarten, 64% of our leaders are already doing it after the cleanup day, but also for their communities and also for their business sector organizations. There are really different kind of actions which Let's Do It World is doing. Talking about the 2021 formats, World Cleanup Day as a classical big group cleanup. If it's not possible during the COVID times, it's really important to hold this kind of restrictions. Then we can do individual cleanup, a small group cleanup, but also digital cleanup, which is led also by the Let's Do It World. And if you talk about the campaigns, we have lots of materials about the cigarette butts, plastic bottle campaign, and trash blindness, and also digital cleanup. So really shortly, this is about the really huge worldwide organization called Let's Do It World. And I'm really grateful for your attention. I hope you had already really great World Cleanup Day. And let's hold this really great feeling of working together, and let's have these cleanups each day when you go to the work, when you work with some young people. Just share this kind of great experience and share your attitudes as a best person who is caring about the world, environment, and your country. So it will be more cleaner and much better place, our world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heidi-san, for your great presentation. We will be minded of your time, and then allow me to ask you a couple questions. First off, in the myth of difficulties such as COVID, people get creative, and then people get innovative, right? And then I think some of the examples include the digital cleanup. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, please, of course. Thank you for great question. Actually, the digital cleanup is something which we started already last year in 2020 in April. The Let's Do It World, as the biggest engager, is supposed to be a partner to the Earth Day. So Earth Day, 50 years of anniversary was 22nd of April last year, but COVID happened and we were not enabled. We were not possible to us to bring all these people together around the world, and we have to be really creative. We already knew about the digital cleanup because the place where I'm right now sitting, by the way, where we have the Call Media Center, is belonging to Telia, which is really the biggest telecommunications this kind of organization in Estonia. And Telia made already digital cleanups. So we had a talk with them, and they said that let's have it in around the world, and Let's Do It World can do it, this kind of digital cleanup, and let's raise awareness about the digital pollution. So we made a digital cleanup on by celebrating Earth Day 50 years of anniversary. And it was really big, this kind of disputes, started disputes in societies as well. We understood that actually people doesn't know so much about the digital pollution. And we started to look at it inside of that, but also contact different kind of scientists. And we understood that the digital pollution is creating like in the future, 20% of the all CO2. And how it actually is happening is that everybody does have a lot of different kind of laptops or this kind of cell phones or different kind of equipment, if you talk about the technology. And we might have, videos what we are not watching. We don't have blurry photos, something which is repeating. We don't have a lot of materials in Google Drives, which have been backed up by the iClouds. In reality, all this is working and consuming an energy and releasing CO2. And according to the statistics, 90% from all things what we are creating through the digital devices will be not used, 90%. So we have to take care about our devices and try to delete everything which is not important. And this is something what everybody can do. We don't need for that legislation. We don't need for that any government or no one. This is basically what I can do everywhere. And it's not just on the work cleanup day or not on the digital cleanup day, but something but supposed to be, done all the time.
Thank you for such a wonderful answer. I think digital pollution is such an innovative word, and then I think we hope that this word is going to spread throughout the world. Last question. I think in the midst of these difficulties, your presentation mentioned and emphasized on the importance of collective action.
Yes.
And then be minded of the population. 75% of the world population now is becoming the millennial people, right?
Yeah.
And then the youth are taking such an important role in such a collective action. Any message for the Japanese youth that are engaged in such a great world cleanup project? And then any last message that we can send to them?
Yeah, I love to say that be the change what you want to see in the future. So be the role model to yourself firstly. Be the better you. Believe me, when you're doing something good, then you become good. And to do good, make you feel good. Make a really great friends when you're going and doing this kind of great actions. You can do not just the work cleanup day. I think good deeds day is really nice thing as well. Simply you go and help people in your communities, and you can do it also through the cleanups. You can do a lot of multiple things. But I think that for us as a humanity is really important to understand what and who we want to be as a humans. And my personal understanding is that if you are doing good, you become good. When you becoming good, the world is becoming good. It is really simple, and we have to work together. This is also really important.
Thank you so much. And then thank you so much for your presentations and then your great Q&A. We truly appreciate your support, and then we'll make sure to get back to you with the great, exciting turnout here in Okinawa in Japan. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was really a pleasure, and I'm really, really honored. And I want to say a huge thank you to all our people who have been related to Japan, to Chika, to Dakar, from Let's Do It Japan, and it's to many, many people. So thank you so much. Thank you for the trust. And let's work further for great cause.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then, yeah, this is it. Thank you so much. And then we'll keep you updated on our progress. And then thank you so much again. And then so sorry that we kept you waiting for a long time. Thank you so much for your collaboration.
It worked really well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
See you.